What's up, everybody? Here with Joe Grinwis, aka Panda, talking Week 5 matchups. Long time no talk, dude. What's going on?
Not much, man. Just hanging in there, waiting to see if this game gets off tomorrow. Hopefully, it will. And
Yeah, I mean, at least no
getting
more
ready to be 0
positive
and 5.
COVID tests.
Yeah, no more positive COVID tests. And hey, our one win when we went 1-15 in '96 was against Arizona. So bringing out those jerseys, the old school Keyshawn, and we'll see. Maybe this will be our one win. I know nobody wants to win. I mean, technically, I don't either, but we'll see what happens.
If Sam was the quarterback, it'd be a little bit different. But with Flacco out
Right,
there,
right.
it's just so hard to get motivated for this one. So yeah, I mean, let's start off with that one. Cardinals -7 at New York. Really, the only thing going in favor of the Jets is that you have a West Coast team traveling to the East Coast for a 1 o'clock game. But still, it's the Cliff Kingsbury, Kelvin Beachum, Kenyon Drake, whoever you want to call it, revenge game. The Cardinals are just so much more talented than the Jets, especially when you factor in the injuries with no Becton out there, no Sam Darnold. Le'Veon Bell's coming back, but you wonder how many carries he's going to get. I think this is just a complete mismatch on both sides of the ball. I think the Cardinals rout the Jets easily by 20.
Yeah, I think Arizona takes this one. I'm not that confident where they're going to win by 20. I think you get a spirited effort out of Flacco. I don't think he's going to last too long because, yeah, like you said, with Becton out, it's going to be a tough one.
Who's he
Um,
throwing to?
yeah, Jeff Smith maybe. Jeff Smith showed some promise against Denver.
Yeah.
Flacco always loved his tight ends, so the one thing I really liked in this game is Chris Herndon to score a touchdown plus 225. I know he's had stone hands this season.
Yeah.
I know that he's not really a big part of an Adam Gase offense, it seems.
Yeah.
But I like the matchup this week with Herndon against the Cardinals defense. They're missing one of their starting safeties out. Buda Baker will be back, but the other one, can't think of his name. He is out. So that's what I would go with. Chris Herndon to score plus 225 and Arizona -7, of course, but not by 20. I think more like by 14.
I think they're going to try to run it up. But yeah, Kenyon Drake, I got him scoring a touchdown -134. And then Christian Kirk also at plus 440. I think those are pretty good odds. I can almost see a scenario where the Jets worry so much about DeAndre Hopkins that, maybe Kirk or even Fitzgerald scores a touchdown there. So going to the next game, and this one I've seen a lot of mixed reviews on. Panthers plus 2.5 at
Mhm.
Atlanta. I'm seeing a lot of people pick Carolina, but I'm looking
Yep.
at the Falcons and saying, you know what, they're 0-4, but the four losses, you got Seattle, Dallas, the Bears, and the Packers, arguably all playoff teams. I think this is a team, yes, they're a bad team, but they're not, a winless team, or at least they shouldn't be. So they're getting Calvin Ridley back. They're going to have Julio out there, possibly. I think he's questionable right now, but it looks like he's going to play. The Panthers' defense improved over the last 2 weeks, but I'm still not convinced. They're also giving up 125 rushing yards on the ground, so I like Gurley going over 67.5. And you can also, on FanDuel, they have a player prop special. Gurley, 100 yards and a touchdown. Or I'm sorry, not even a touchdown, 100 yards and a Falcon win, plus 540. So I'm rolling with that, and I'm rolling with the Falcons, I think, money line.
I am complete opposite of you. I
Knew it.
love Carolina. It's funny. This game started as Atlanta -2.5, and it went all the way down to -1 as early as today, because I bet this earlier today. I took Carolina on the money line instead of the +1. I took them on the money line plus 106. I love Carolina. They're in my big parlay of the week. I love what Carolina's doing. I can make a case that they should be 3-1, where Atlanta, they just have to come up with excuses of just blowing games. And Robbie Anderson, he's going to have a big game. I love him over 74.5 receiving
Knew
yards.
it.
And I love Mike Davis over 57.5 rushing yards. Both of those are -110. And like I said, Carolina plus 106 on the money line. It is now up to plus 115 on DraftKings. Panthers all the way.
I was gonna say I started doing the notes, and Carolina was plus 1.5, and then as we were getting closer to
Yep.
recording, I had to adjust it to 2.5. So that's interesting. And
Late
yeah,
late money is on
uh,
your side. The late money is coming
that's
in
true.
on your side. So
That's true, and I usually feel good about that. But yeah, I'm with you on Robbie Anderson also. I mean, 200-yard games to start the year, and then I think it
mhm.
was 99 last week or the week before. So yeah, I mean, he's been hitting the overs quite a bit. So I like that. Next game, we got the Bengals 12.5 at Baltimore.
Mhm.
I'm kind of torn on this one, but I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going with Boyd over 5.5 receptions at plus 120. The last 3 weeks, he's had at least 7 in those games, and I think they're going to be down probably in the second half where they're throwing the ball a lot. I also like him and Green scoring a touchdown at plus 260.
Okay. I love the Ravens -12.5. I actually got them at minus 12. Now they're back up to minus 12.5. I think the Lamar Jackson missing practice on Wednesday and Thursday, even though one day was supposedly to just an illness, freaked some people out because it was at 13.5, dropped all the way to 12. Now it's at 12.5. I love them at minus 12.5. They're also my big parlay of the week. And I also like Gus Edwards to score 2 touchdowns plus 2,200 to score 2 touchdowns. The Gus bus.
See, I'm avoiding all the Raven props because they can go in so many different directions with the run game between
They
Lamar,
can.
Ingram, Dobbins, and like you said with
And
Edwards. So
that's
what always scares me.
And that's why I'm going with Gus, because Dobbins has had his time, Ingram's had his time, Lamar's had his time. Now it's time for the Gus bus.
All right. Can't fault it. All right. Next up, we got Texans, 5.5-point favorites at home against the Jaguars. I love the Texans here coming off the firing of Bill O'Brien. I think that team's going to be motivated. We also saw the reports with J.J. Watt calling out O'Brien during a practice, apparently. So I think he was kind of hated on both sides of the ball there. And I do think Deshaun Watson has some weapons to work with. Him and Cooks really haven't gotten off to a great start. Only 10 catches for $138 so far this year. But I'm picking this for his breakout game, touchdown plus 220 and over 44.5 yards. I like both of those. On FanDuel, you could also get the player prop parlay, Cooks 75-plus yards, and a win plus 350. So I'm rolling with that.
I like the Texans minus 5.5 as well. I think, like you said, now that Bill O'Brien is gone, this team's going to play motivated. Not that Romeo Crennel is the second coming of Vince Lombardi, but you know what? He's a great choice to steady the ship for the last, 12 games of the season. He had 4 years in Cleveland. He had a year and a half in Kansas City. He's a guy who's been there before. But yeah, I love Houston minus 5.5. I think this is a 7 to 10 point win. I also love Deshaun Watson over 292.5 throwing yards. I think it's going to be a long day for Jacksonville's secondary.
I like that as well, especially if Fitzpatrick was able to throw all over them. I think that bodes well for Watson.
One would hope.
It's funny, people keep talking about the Bill O'Brien thing. Like, that's a guy that won the division, 4 out of 6 years. He's able to get fired after an 0-4 start, and we still got to watch Adam Gase this week.
Well, he had all those riveting, terrible performances in the wild card round. And last year, if it weren't for Josh Allen just throwing balls behind his head, he would have been out last year in the wild card as well.
Yeah, I'd kill to just watch a wild card playoff game at this point.
Oh, yeah, me too. But
all right, next up.
I'd kill to watch an 8-8 team.
Oh, seriously, dude, you have no idea. That's why we got to do these kind of shows and this kind of content, because I can't talk about the Jets every day.
No, I watched on Sundays to bet now. That's it.
Seriously. Next up, we got Rams minus 7 at Washington. Kyle Allen's going to be starting for Washington. 4th-ranked pass defense. Chase Young, he's questionable coming into this one. Rams 3-1. I think they're clearly the better team. The defense has looked phenomenal, especially last week against the Giants, although not much competition there. They still won that game by 8, although I didn't think it should have been that close. I'm still going to roll with the Rams here, although I'm a little bit cautious. I'll probably buy it down. If you look at the alternate spread, minus 2.5 is minus 275 if you want to parlay that. But yeah, the Rams D is legit. 3 out of 4 games under 20 points. Not too many prop bets that I like, especially, with Henderson and Brown kind of splitting the carries in the backfield. So the only thing I'd probably like is Cooper Kupp scoring a touchdown at plus 220.
Yeah, I don't really like this game. I'm staying away from it. At 7.5, I was considering Washington. Now it's down to 7. I'm still weary. It's not so much that I think the the Washington football team is going to win.
Again.
It's not so much that I think the Washington football team is going to win. It's the Rams are just so – you never know what you're going to get from them. Yep. And with a new quarterback change, Kyle Allen, they might play inspired. Who knows? So I'm staying away from it. The only bet I do like is a long shot player prop. Terry McLaurin to score 2 touchdowns, plus 1,600. Why not? Kyle Allen's going to need a go-to guy. That's the go-to guy in Washington. And you know what? Why not?
Not bad. All right. You can get down with that. All right. Next up, Eagles plus 7 at the Steelers. I'm kind of torn on this one. I'm probably going to stay away from it. Eagles coming off the big win last week against the Niners. The Steelers essentially coming off the bye week, sitting at 3-0. You look at the Philly injury list. I mean, if you want to feel better about the Jets, look at their injury report. I mean, they are just decimated on both sides of the ball, especially on offense, offensive line, wide receiver. If I was going to go with the Eagles plus 7, I'd probably buy a few points, make it up to plus 10 or something like that. I think the Steelers are the better team. They're going to win. But there's not too many props that I like either. Ebron, Ertz maybe scoring a touchdown at plus 225. But yeah, I'm probably mostly avoiding this game.
I love the Steelers in this one. Not enough to take them minus 7. I bought them down to 6.5 in one of my bets, and another one I took them just on the money line. I think this is like a 3 to 6 point game personally. I think they're going to win, but I think, Philly always puts up a fight. And, Philly has one of the best defensive lines in the league. And Pittsburgh's got a good offensive line, but they're going to give them trouble. Ben's stiff back there. One thing I do like for Pittsburgh, Deontay Johnson plus 165 to score a touchdown. He's back in the lineup. Ben loves him. So that's the one thing I'm going with in this game. Also, Pittsburgh money line.
All right, next up, your boy Fitzpatrick and the Dolphins +8 at the Niners. Niners getting back Jimmy G. Most of their weapons are back as well. The D is still kind of banged up, so this is somewhat of a tough one to call. The Dolphins have been pretty competitive this year, but I'm just not a believer in Fitzmagic, at least lasting a full season, let alone multiple years. I think that ride's kind of coming to an end, and I just think the Niners coming off that loss against the Eagles, they're going to be motivated. They're getting their quarterback back. I think the offense is going to put up 30 in this one. And yeah, I just think they're going to outpace the Dolphins. So give me them. And I don't know about the +8 though. Definitely buying that one down. I think -5.5 was listed at +170. So I'd probably roll with that.
Yeah, I mean, this started at +9.5. Now it's down to +8.5. Some places +8. So the money's coming in Miami.
Yep.
I'm not as confident to bet on Miami. I'm staying away from this game. I'm not going San Francisco or Miami. This game to me could be a 2 or 3 touchdown game. It could be a field goal game. It depends on the Miami you get. It depends so much on the type of Jimmy G you're getting. Now he's coming back off injury. Is he going to be rusty? Is he going to be all right? So I'm staying away from this game. I'm not going either way. The only bet I like is the Ryan Fitzpatrick prop bet plus 100 over 1.5 touchdown passes. If he's going out swinging. He's going out through the air. He can throw at least 2 touchdowns on the secondary.
What's the number on Fitzpatrick over 2.5 interceptions or something like that? Because I mean, this is usually the week that he's in for that kind of performance.
Not against this secondary. Not without. If Nick Bosa were healthy, destroying the offensive line, then I would agree with you. But this secondary is young.
I was gonna say Sherman's still out too, right?
Yep, Sherman's not playing, so they're playing inexperienced corners. And you know what? This game has all the makings of a 35-21. Miami gets 2 touchdowns late type game.
All right. Not a terrible pick, I guess. All right, next up we got Colts +1 at the Browns. I think the Browns are getting a little bit hyped up this week coming off the win at Dallas, where they put up 49 points. Dallas's defense looks awful, but you are starting to see some things click with the Browns and their offense with Odell. I'm rolling with the Colts money line here, but the big bet that I really like is Jonathan Taylor over 65.5 yards. I think that's a lock. Him scoring a touchdown as well is listed at -110. If you want to roll 2 touchdowns, +550. Same thing with T.Y. Hilton. I think he's going to get in 1 touchdown, +220, 2 touchdowns, +1,700. I think the Colts are going to put up a lot of points on this Browns defense, and I just don't think the Browns are going to be able to keep up. Also, Odell over 63.5 yards.
Well, once again, we are disagreeing. Yes, I love Cleveland. I'm taking Cleveland on the money line. I'm taking Cleveland on the money line for 2 reasons. Darius Leonard is out, and Anthony Costanzo is out. So you're missing your star middle linebacker and your star left tackle. And you got Myles Garrett breathing down Phillip Rivers' ass. And it's going to be a long day for Phillip Rivers. T.Y. Hilton has not been in sync in this offense. They have gotten away beating some crappy teams. Now they are going to play a pretty good Browns team. I think this is the year that the Browns actually aren't that bad. They're not going to contend for the Super Bowl. They're not going to be contending for the AFC North. But are they going to go 10-6, possibly 11-5? I think so. I think they finally have a coach who, he might not be Vince Lombardi, but he is righting the ship, so to speak. Now, if they get destroyed on Sunday, I'll eat my words for this. But I love Cleveland. I took them on the money line. I love Kareem Hunt over 24.5 receiving yards. Yes, receiving yards. Nick Chubb is out, and they used Hunt to catch the ball out of the backfield, even with Chubb in the lineup. They're going to use him even more now. And Jarvis Landry over 49.5 receiving yards. I think that's free money.
I just think the Browns are always going to brown at some point, and especially the Colts' offensive line is phenomenal. That's why I think they're going to be able to control the line of scrimmage.
Costanzo's out, though, man. Costanzo's out.
Just run behind.
Garrett's coming in.
Run behind Nelson. They'll be fine.
We'll see.
Colts also #1 pass defense in football, so I think they're going to give Baker some issues, even without Leonard. So next up, I think we'll agree on this one. Giants +9 at the Cowboys. I'm loving the Cowboys here. Like I said before, their defense has been absolute trash, 126 points over the last 3 games. You figure they had to have put in a nice week of practice this week to try and get some of that stuff figured out. And at the very least, you're facing a Giants offense that hasn't scored more than 16 all year, back-to-back games with 9 points. So, yeah, even if they do put up a good game with, 20, 24, I think Dallas is easily going to top 30. I'm looking at Zeke scoring a touchdown at minus 240, probably throwing that in some parlays, 2 touchdowns plus 230. I think he's going to be getting a ton of carries in this one, over 88.5 yards as well. If you want to take the rushing and receiving, $123, I think that's a little bit high because I think they're just going to feed him on the ground.
I love Dallas. I love Dallas at -9. I love Dallas when I bought them down to -5.5. And I love Ezekiel Elliott to score a touchdown. I love Dak over 316.5 passing yards. And I love Amari Cooper over 74.5 receiving yards. I love the Cowboys this week.
Yeah.
This is the week Dallas gets a win. No doubt about it. This is 35-10 written all over it. Danny Dimes is playing like hot garbage. And you know what? We can say that because we know what hot garbage is as Jets fans. Jets and Giants fans are both miserable. He sucks. Darnold sucks. We all suck. We get it. Anyway, Dallas all the way this week.
All right, next up, and this is an interesting game to get into. Seattle, worst pass defense in football. They're getting 7 points against the Vikings. 7 points, -7 against the Vikings. Russell Wilson, he's been playing like the league MVP so far. Vikings have not looked very good. I'm rolling with some of the props on this one. I like Kyle Rudolph over 24.5 yards. With that Seattle pass defense, also no Jamal Adams out there. Also, same game parlay on FanDuel. I'm rolling with Rudolph, Thielen, Metcalf, and Olsen scoring a touchdown. You can get them same game parlay, just those 4, 69-1. So I like those odds. No pun intended.
Okay. I love Seattle. I have them on the money line. I also have them -7. I think this is, Russell Wilson has never lost to the Vikings in his career. I think that continues. I think Seattle's a great team. I think it is a high-scoring affair. I would take the over. I didn't personally take the over, but I could understand people taking the over. Like I said, I like Seattle. I like DK Metcalf to score 2 touchdowns plus 325, and Dalvin Cook to score the first touchdown in the game plus 600. I know that's a bet for the Vikings, but I could see them easily going down the field, starting early. Dalvin Cook's going to have a good day. He's going to get his yards, score early, and then Seattle, boom, right from there. Seahawks -7 all the way.
See, I would tend to agree about going with the over, but I feel like a lot of the games this week, the overs are just really high. I think that game was listed at like 56.5 or something like that.
57 right now.
Yeah. So, and I think there's only 4 games that were even under 50 this week. So I think that's just kind of the response to, what's been like a record-setting first quarter in terms of offense. So I think at some point you're going to see the defenses kind of make some adjustments there.
At some point, but like you said, Jamal Adams is out. Vikings have been struggling on defense, so is Seattle. So I think this game could easily be 35-28.
All right. Next up, we got Chargers plus 8.5 at the Saints. Another tough one, I think, to figure out. The Saints have, kind of had some mixed performances, especially from Breeze. But they could be getting back Mike Thomas this week, so I'd probably wait and see what happens there. You got Bosa and Mike Williams that are also both beat up a little bit for the Chargers. I'd probably lean with the Saints here. I think that Breeze is going to be motivated going against his former team. You got Kamara, 7 touchdowns on the year. I think he stays hot. I'm rolling with him 2 touchdowns at plus 320 as well.
Kamara, 2 touchdowns plus 320. I like that as well. Other than that, I'm staying away from this game. The Saints right now scare me. I don't know what team I'm getting from them, and everybody likes Justin Herbert, as do I. I'm not ready to anoint him as anything, but he's fun to watch. He keeps games interesting. He keeps games close. 8's too high for me. If I were going to take the Saints, I'd buy it down to about 6.5. But other than that, other than Kamara, I'm staying away from it.
I was going to say that there's a lot of games that are in that 7 to 8 range that I feel like, even with the Cowboys, I feel like that should be a game they win comfortably, but I'd probably like to buy that one down from like 9 to 6.5.
I bought down a lot of games this week. I'm not going to lie. I bought them down 2 or 3 points.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I was looking at all my picks, and I have a ton of favorites this week, and I usually don't like that. So. All right, and I think that's pretty much it because, the only other game that is left is the other Monday night game that's supposed to be on tap with the Broncos. Last I saw, they were listed at plus 10.5 at New England, but right now I don't see any of the books that even have the game posted. I think they're kind of waiting to see if Cam Newton and Stephon Gilmore are going to play, so that could be interesting. But I would love the Pats personally, even with the 10.5 line, even if Cam Newton doesn't play. I think they've looked pretty good. That defense is going to be all over the Broncos, whoever's starting at quarterback.
Well, there is one game we didn't get on. And that
What did I miss?
Kansas City and Oakland.
Did I miss that one?
I don't remember talking about it.
Hold on. I must have skipped over it because I do have notes here on that one. Yeah. How did I miss that one? Yeah, Raiders plus 11 at KC. Yeah, so the one play that I like here, and I'm waiting for the rest of the lines to come out for whatever reason. I don't know why. Henry Ruggs doesn't have any yard props on either FanDuel or DraftKings.
They're taking a while to come out on this one, yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that. But scoring a touchdown for Henry Ruggs right now is plus 240. And there's also over 3.5 receptions on FanDuel, nothing on DraftKings yet. But yeah, I think this could be the breakout game for Henry Ruggs, especially if the Chiefs are putting up a lot of points and the Raiders are throwing late. But other than that, not a whole lot of props. Other than that I really like. Kelsey maybe scoring a touchdown at minus 110. He hasn't scored a touchdown, I think, in back-to-back weeks, so he's probably due. But yeah, not too much that I really like in that game.
I'm going Tyreek Hill plus 300 to score 2 touchdowns. He kills the Raiders. He's been quiet this season. I think this is the game he really explodes. And
he's got touchdowns in every game this week or in this year.
He didn't have a touchdown last week.
Yeah, he did.
He did? I must have been asleep.
Yeah.
Well, he's been pretty quiet, at least from what I've seen.
That's the only reason I didn't bet him yet, because I feel like 5 in a row. That's, I don't know, asking for trouble.
I didn't see him score last week, so that's on me. That's on me. But to me, he's been quiet. Usually you hear his name more often. Either way, he always kills the Raiders. So I got him plus 300. I also love the Chiefs minus 11.5. I think that's a blowout win.
All right. So, yeah, I think that's it now, right?
Yep, that's it.
All right, cool. So, yeah, go Jets, but not really, because I'm definitely putting the Cardinals in some bets. And I'll talk to you guys next week.